Why do African Americans wait so long to have a funeral? My white family waits for everyone to be able to travel. I don't think it is a universal cultural difference. Woman shrugging. In the UK, a funeral is normally 12 weeks after the death. And we're at 75% white. Higher here in Scotland. Had a great aunt pass in US, and some of us were planning to fly out until we found out she had been cremated 2 days after death. We find it weird you bury the dead so quick. Whites don't decompose any faster than blacks. The funeral home can keep them refrigerated until the funeral. A funeral home can keep a refrigerated body up to a few weeks before burial. When anybody, white or black, postpones a funeral, it's usually to allow family members to travel to the city where the funeral is being held. To allow family from different parts of the country to get to the funeral. If any family in the South pass, they have to wait for all of us northern family members to get off work, gather the other northern members and drive down south. The Great Migration is pretty much the cause of it. I'm white and in the South, and we joke about how fast white people bury their dead. It's like if they die on Monday, they're buried on Wednesday. We don't gaff about anyone driving or flying in. If you can't teleport, you ain't coming to Granny's funeral. In Jamaica, it's not uncommon to have the funeral 6 weeks plus after the death, and they don't cremate. It is often so extended family can travel to the funeral from a distance. Many people don't own a car and don't have the money for a plane or train ticket. So they take a bus cross country, getting the money together, finding a way to the bus station, and the lengthy trip can take quite a few days to arrange. I am southeastern US and white. Everyone I have known to pass takes 1 to 2 weeks before having services. Except my mother, who was adamant about the 24 hours to gown rule in the Jewish religion. It was so fast. I barely had time to do anything, and her funeral was a blur. As a Jew, these times are mind-blowing to me. We try and do our funerals within 24 hours of the death. Even a few days seems super long to me. Let a week or more. From what I've seen, many have a bunch of family members, and most want to go and want to arrange for most to be able to come, especially if the deceased was an important member like a matriarch. We had the funeral for my white grandma 3 weeks after she passed, but she was cremated. Most likely a religious, cultural thing. Jews bury their dead within 48 hours of death, usually 24. It tends to cause massive issues if the death is related to a crime and needs an autopsy. Muslims have similar practices. Other religions, cultures go the other way and have extended mourning periods and other customs to attend to prior to the actual funeral. Averages about 2 weeks or more here in California for nearly everyone, regardless of race, nationality or religion, logistics, travel, reservations, etc. What's the hurry anyways? I waited 7 months for my younger sister's funeral. Not on purpose, because it took me a while to straighten out a few things. She was not married and had no kids. The remaining siblings did not want to have any part with the preparations. I took my time to get her taxes and her estate cleared so nobody could try to upset anything later on. Up north we wait till the ground thaws, at least in my family. Sometimes that could be a few months. I don't have an answer, but is 410 days really so long? In my country, it's also the norm to have a funeral between 1 and 2 weeks after someone's death. And most people here are white. It gives people a couple of days to put themselves together, to inform other relatives or friends, and to make all the necessary arrangements. And if someone has to travel a longer distance to get to the funeral, they also have more time to prepare for that. Longer time periods between the death and the funeral can also happen when the place where the funeral is held is already booked and busy at the time. Though, it actually happened to us last year. A bunch of people had died around the same time. And we were told we could either have the funeral the day we eventually ended up choosing, or a week later, because there were already other funerals planned for the days in between. I think 4/5 days max is most common here in the Netherlands. Our country is small, so travel usually isn't an issue. Just checked. The official limit is 6 working days, which is rare. This isn't a true statement. My family has had funerals within 5 days as of late. I sort of feel like white people are the anomaly here. I'm white. I think my grandmother thought the same way because she always used to say, "When I die, don't y'all rush me into the ground." Quote.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Commacausey is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.